Stop smiling. Seriously, wipe that look off your face. I know exactly what you're thinking. You watched the trailer for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. You saw the tall, goofy knight. You saw the cute, bald kid with the sass. You saw the bright colors, the jousting, the sunshine. You think HBO is finally giving us a break. You think this is The Mandalorian meets Game of Thrones, a nice, cozy buddy cop adventure where nothing really bad happens, right? You are being lied to, and digging up the truth behind the lie is exactly why you are watching 25th Frame. Here, we don't just consume the content, we find the subliminal tragedy hidden in plain sight. So, if you want to understand the real story while everyone else stays in the dark, make sure you are subscribed right now. Trust me, you're gonna need the context we provide on this channel to survive what's coming. Because, what if I told you that the adorable little boy you're looking at right now is responsible for the single greatest tragedy in the history of House Targaryen? What if I told you that this light-hearted show is actually the origin story of an apocalypse, an event so horrific it wiped out almost an entire generation of heroes in one night? The internet is calling this show wholesome, but if you know the lore, if you know where this road actually ends, you know there is nothing wholesome about the smell of burning flesh at Summerhall. Today, on 25th Frame, we are popping the Disney bubble. We are going deep into the blood-soaked history of Dunk and Egg. We're going to talk about the Blackfyre conspiracies, the madness in the blood, and the prophecy that drove a good man to do an unthinkable thing. Buckle up, because the tragedy starts now. The world after war. To understand why this show is going to hit you harder than the Red Wedding, you need to understand the world it lives in. We are not in the era of House of the Dragon. There are no dragons here. They're all dead. Their skulls are gathering dust in the Red Keep. And we aren't in the era of Game of Thrones yet. The White Walkers are just a myth to scare children. This is the golden autumn of the Targaryen dynasty. On the surface, everything looks fine. The realm is peaceful. The armor is shiny. The wine is flowing. But scratch the surface, and it's rotting. See, just a few years before our story begins, Westeros was ripped apart by the Blackfyre Rebellion. I won't bore you with a history lecture, but here is the too long, didn't read version. A king legitimized all his bastard children on his deathbed. One of them, Daemon Blackfyre, was given the ancestral sword of kings and said, "Hey, I should probably be in charge." Half the realm sided with the Red Dragon, the Targs we know. The other half sided with the Black Dragon. Thousands died. The Red Dragon won. But here's the kicker. The realm never truly healed. In A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, you are going to see a country suffering from civil war PTSD. Every lord is suspicious of his neighbor. Did you fight for the Black Dragon? Are you a traitor? The tension in this show isn't about ice zombies. It's about paranoia. It's about a war that technically ended, but never really stopped. And into this political minefield walks a giant idiot from Flea Bottom and a bald kid with a deadly secret. Dunk, the last true knight. Let's talk about our main man, Sir Duncan the Tall, or as he calls himself when he's panicking, Dunk the Lunk, thick as a castle wall. If you love the Hound or Brienne of Tarth, you are going to worship Dunk. But there is a massive difference. In Game of Thrones, we are constantly told that knights are monsters. Sir Gregor Clegane, a psychopath. Sir Jaime Lannister, an oathbreaker. Sir Meryn Trant, a coward. George R.R. Martin spent 5 books telling us that knighthood is just a fancy paint job for licensed killers. But then there is Dunk. Dunk is huge, nearly 7 feet tall. He grew up in the slums of King's Landing, eating bowls of brown. He wasn't born noble. He can't read. He isn't smart. He technically might not even be a knight. The old man who supposedly knighted him died before anyone could witness it. Dunk could just be a massive imposter. But here is the beauty of it. He is the only one who actually acts like a knight. While the high-born lords are playing politics and stabbing each other in the back, Dunk is out there actually protecting the weak. He takes the vows seriously because he chooses them, not because he was born into them. Honestly, if you think Dunk is the kind of hero Westeros actually deserves, unlike the monsters we saw in Game of Thrones, go ahead and hit that like button right now. Let's show the YouTube algorithm that chivalry isn't dead yet. Because watching the world try to break Dunk, that is where the real drama comes from. He's the Captain America of Westeros. And if you know anything about George R. Martin, being the good guy usually puts a massive target on your back. And then we have Egg. Look at him. He's sassy, he's bald, he's got that little brother energy. Their chemistry is electric. But Egg isn't just a squire. His name is Aegon V Targaryen. He is the 4th son of a 4th son. That makes him Aegon the Unlikely. He is so far down the line of succession that nobody cares about him. That's why his father let him run off into the woods with a Hedge Knight. But here is where the darkness starts to creep in. Egg is a Targaryen. And as the old saying goes, when a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin. On one side, you have greatness. On the other, madness. In this show, we are going to meet Egg's older brother, Aerion Brightflame. Aerion is what happens when the coin lands on the wrong side. He is cruel, vain, and obsessed with the idea that he is a dragon in human form. This guy literally drinks wildfire thinking it will transform him. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. Egg sees this madness. He hates it. He travels with Dunk because he wants to learn how to be a normal human being. He wants to understand the common people. He wants to break the wheel long before Daenerys ever said it. Yes, Egg is the direct ancestor of Daenerys and Jon Snow. And just like Daenerys, he starts with the absolute best intentions. He wants to fix the world. He wants to feed the poor. He wants to strip the rich lords of their unfair power. But power is a dangerous drug. As this series goes on, watch closely. Watch how frustrated Egg gets when he can't fix things with kindness. Watch how he starts to realize that being good isn't enough. To change the world, you need power. And for a Targaryen, absolute power means only one thing: dragons. And that desire, that obsession with bringing the dragons back to enforce peace, is exactly what will lead us to the fire. The Shadow of Bloodraven. But wait, it gets darker. You might think Dunk and Egg are just wandering around Westeros by accident. Right place, right time, right? Wrong. There is a theory, a very strong one, that their entire journey is being manipulated by one man. A man playing 4D chess with human lives. Enter Brynden Rivers, also known as Bloodraven. If you've only watched Game of Thrones, you know him as the Three-Eyed Raven, the old tree guy who taught Bran how to travel through time. But in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, he isn't a tree yet. He is the Hand of the King. He is an albino sorcerer, a master spy, and the most feared man in the Seven Kingdoms. They say he has 1,000 eyes and one. He uses magic to watch everything. Why does this matter? Because Bloodraven is obsessed with one thing, the prophecy of the prince that was promised. He knows that the savior must come from the Targaryen bloodline. Many fans believe that Bloodraven chose Dunk. He maneuvered this street thug to become the protector of Egg because he knew that Egg needed to survive to continue the bloodline that eventually leads to Jon Snow. And this is where I need your opinion, because the fandom is split on this. Is Bloodraven a hero who did whatever it took to save the world from the White Walkers, or is he a villain who sacrificed innocent lives for his greater good? Let me know in the comments, hero or villain. I read every reply. Because if Bloodraven did manipulate Egg's life, he also guided him toward his doom. Now we fast forward. Let's skip 40 years into the future. The cute kid, Egg, is now King Aegon V. He has spent his entire life trying to help the poor. He passed laws to protect the small folk. He tried to be the good king. But the lords of Westeros, they hated him for it. They rebelled. They ignored his laws. Egg realized a hard truth. You cannot force people to be good without a weapon to make them listen. He became obsessed. He needed dragons, not for war, but for peace. And that brings us to the year 259 AC, to a place called Summerhall. Egg gathers his entire family, his children, his pregnant granddaughter, and his oldest friend, Sir Duncan the Tall, now the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. They bring 7 dragon eggs. They use wildfire. They use ancient blood magic. We don't know exactly what went wrong. Maybe a spell failed. Maybe there was sabotage. But the fire got out of control. It wasn't just a fire. It was an inferno. The palace turned into a furnace, the king trapped inside. And this is the final, heartbreaking act of our comedy. Dunk, the man who started as a street urchin, didn't try to save the king. He knew it was too late. Instead, he used his massive strength to smash open the burning doors. He didn't run. He stayed in the fire to push the survivors out. He saved one specific person, the pregnant granddaughter, Rhaella. She crawled out into the smoke and gave birth right there on the grass, while Dunk and Egg burned to death inside. That baby she gave birth to, Rhaegar Targaryen, the man who would start the rebellion, the father of Jon Snow. Dunk died so that the Song of Ice and Fire could continue. The Price of a Dream. So, when you turn on HBO Max to watch episode 1, when you see Dunk fall in a puddle of mud, when you see Egg make a sarcastic joke and the audience laughs, I want you to laugh too. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the adventure, but keep that small, cold knot of dread in your stomach. Because now, unlike everyone else, you know the truth. You aren't just watching a buddy comedy. You are watching a ticking clock. You are watching 2 friends who loved the world so much it eventually burned them alive. This show isn't a fairy tale. It is a tragedy disguised as a dream, and waking up from it is going to hurt. This is exactly what we do here on 25th Frame. We don't just consume content, we tear it apart to find the hidden layers that everyone else misses. If you want to be the smartest person in the room, the one who understands the real story while your friends are just eating popcorn, make sure you are subscribed. We are building the best analysis community on YouTube, and I want you in it. And speaking of endings that are actually lies, everyone is talking about Stranger Things 5 finale. They think it's over. They think they won. But just like with Dunk and Egg, there is a dark secret hiding beneath the surface. Click this video right here. We found evidence that the happy ending in Hawkins might be a complete fake-out. If you like uncovering the truth, that is your next stop. I'll see you there.